What is up, everybody? Welcome to the U16 RMPC speed competition here at Flipshack round 5. We just finished up the U9 competition, the U9 tag. We're here with these U16 athletes. They're on the speed course. They've already had about 5 minutes to practice around on this course. They got course walkthrough, and now they're working with their coaches, working with their teammates, trying to figure out the best route. Just got the announcement, 5 minutes remaining here for the speed warm-up, and then we're going to get started with group 1. We have 2 groups of athletes, lots of speed athletes in this division. So we're going to watch them for a little bit, put together their strategies here for their speed course. Maybe grab a couple of interviews with athletes, with coaches. Carson's sabotaging me with a try not to laugh on the stream. My name is Micah. I'm here with Carson back here operating the live stream. We have Judge Ian out there, Judge Will out there. We're just using 2 judges for the U16, just like we did the U9s. And Haven Adams is on the microphone today. We have our roster right here. First up is Aiden Grisham from the home gym here at Flipshack, followed by Kaz Quintana, Brielle Lockhart, Oliver, Oscar, Rylan, Ashton, Jake, and Kylie. We have 9 athletes in each of our groups. We have a very long speed course here at Flipshack. The facility isn't quite as large as some of those that we're using. So the speed course has to sort of wrap over itself multiple times. It's very interesting, and I'm super excited to see what these U16 athletes are going to do with this course. We also saw the U9s and the U12s earlier today and yesterday, so we're going to see what these older athletes can do.
Group 2, welcome to the warm-up area now. Will be Gideon, Colette, Wyatt, Jackson, Andrew, Gabe, Hiram, Striker, and Roman.
You have a camera? I'll be like,
Ready when you are.
All right. Starting the first three rounds round 5. Starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
first up on the course is Aiden Grisham. As I mentioned earlier, Aiden is representing Flipshack, the home gym here. So he has plenty of experience using all of these obstacles. This is his first time on this exact course. Very nice. Already into those tacking blocks, absolutely cruising. It is incredible to see how much faster these guys go. Already past his last touch points on this final leg. Over and under, across the finish line, 38 seconds. Very, very impressive run from Aiden. And all these speed athletes do get 2 runs. Next up is going to be Kaz Quintana representing Ninja Corps. This is going to be one to watch. Across the starting line, full sprint here. We're going to see if he can hang on to that pace towards the end of this run. Incredible underbar there, using that wall to push underneath the low bar. Bit of a stumble there. Super fast through those tacks. Kaz is still flying towards the end of this course. One last leg here. Over, under, and across the finish line, 32 seconds. I'll enter it. I have it on the live stream, so I'll enter this. We're going to have to rewind that stream and find the score. It looked like 32 seconds. Incredible time. Oh, 32.721. What was it? 32.721. That's just the numbers I saw. Is that final time? And on the course now is Brielle Lockhart from Team Kinetic. Keeping a very smart pace here on this long course.
Good, good. Also.
Size up this course pretty significantly from the U9, but there are still some tricky obstacles like that bar she just went underneath. You have to go over and under that bar. It doesn't matter the order. It's definitely harder for these older athletes to go underneath that one. Across her final touch points, just the balance beams left. Still keeping her pace. And she's going to cross the finish line 46.2 seconds. A strong performance there from Brielle. Up on the starting line is Oliver from Flipshack. Oliver trains here at Flipshack with Coach Ian and Coach Alexa. And he is off, going straight over that beam. Very quick strides. with the arm cast on. We're gonna see what he does here. Still grabbing the bar with both hands, even with the cast on. Ghost step on those stride blocks. He is cruising here. Really doing a great job maintaining that quick pace even at the end here. Under that last beam, 32 seconds. Looks like he would have beat Kaz's time there, but he didn't quite hit the laser. The official time stops when you cross that laser. You're so close. 32.746. I think he was at 32.1 when he crossed, but he did not hit that laser. Oscar coasts from flow vault on the course, getting his toes way up there. Has to go through that gate on that Norbert's. Really good job remembering there. Ghost steps on those tacking blocks. And Oscar getting to the end here, over under those final two beams. Judge Will making sure he doesn't walk back through those lasers. If you go through the lasers, it stops the time, and if you go back through again, it restarts it. So we have to make sure those lasers are only touched once. That's what happened earlier. On the course right now is Ashton Luaris from Aftershock. Very nice, 34.7 seconds. That final time, and next up is going to be Jakin Larson. Here he goes. Absolutely flying. He's going to have an advantage and a disadvantage with his height here. Disadvantage on this spot right here with that little bar. Slowing him down a little bit, but he's still flying here. Seen a little bit of struggles today. Skips that tacking block, but I believe that's a touch point, so we're going to see if they... Is it good?
It's only the last two. The first, the last.
Okay. So I am wrong. We have updated the course from the previous age groups. So you only have to touch that first and the last tacking block, meaning that was a clean run. Very nice. $33.271. A really good time, and there were a couple of stumbles there. He can definitely make up for those on the second run. Sometimes we see lots of improvements in our U12 division. Almost everybody improved on their second time. However, in our U9s, only two of our athletes, I think, improved on their second runs. So we're going to see what happens with these U16 athletes, especially in a long course like this. It's very difficult to improve on your second time when you're already exhausted from your first run. Stepping up on the starting line right now is Kylie Royer, representing Precision 509. She's our final athlete in Group 1. This is the last of our first run-throughs. Judges are just getting their final score in there for Jakin. And Kylie is ready on the starting line. Thumbs up from the judges.
Finishing out our first round of our first group, starting in 3, 2, 1, go.
And here goes Kylie. Kong over that first beam. Keeping a quick pace so far. Missing that touch point on the wall. But there's always round 2, always run 2. Usually when we see those penalties in the first run, especially with the U16 athletes, the coaches spot it, and they're going to help them through on their second run, make sure they don't hit those same penalties. Still going very quickly here. Kylie hitting her last touch points there. Just the last 3 beams here. Over that second, under the third, across the finish line. 44 seconds. Judge Will making sure they don't touch that laser a second time. Coach is making sure their athletes aren't hitting those same penalties as they did in the first run. And Aiden Grisham from Flipshack is back up on the starting line for his second out of 2 runs. The judges are ready. Aiden is ready. He's across that starting line, flying over that first beam, making sure to get that touch point. You can hit these touch points with any part of your body. All of these guys have been doing it with their hand. We saw some U9 athletes earlier kicking that wall. Maybe it's a little bit quicker just to try to get your foot on there. Let's see if anyone does it here. Aiden already to the beams after only 25 seconds. Huge jump to that beam. 35.509 seconds. Improving on his first time significantly by almost 3 seconds. Kaz Quintana for his second run here. I believe he's barely hanging on to the lead. We're going to see if he fixes those couple of stumbles he had in the first run to improve that by further. No mistakes so far. Huge strides. Using that wall, using the side of the bar. There he goes. No stumble there this time.
Good, good.
A roll there, but he recovers very quickly. Tried to skip that third tacking block. But he is still flying. Over, under the beams, sprinted to the finish. 3:33.694. A little bit slower than his first time. So unfortunately, he was ahead of pace until that slip up on the tack blocks, but still very impressive. Still hanging on to the lead. Riel Lockhart from Kinetic back up on that starting line. Tonging again over that first beam. Touching that touch point with her hand. A lot of these blocks are very wobbly for the older athletes. Some of the U9s didn't have too much of a problem with it. An amazing recovery there. Head over. Under that bar first. Coming over to the tacks with a ghost step. Barely missing that last touch point from my point of view, but we're going to see what the judges say there. Through her last touch points. Last 2 beams, over and under.
Finish.
Finishing strong, 49 seconds. But unfortunately, getting that penalty with that touch point on the tack blocks. However, her first run was faster anyways. We're going to take that first run time of 46.284 seconds. Oscar, Oliver Schlang from Flipshack, clearing that beam again completely. Definitely a contender here. Over that beam, over that bar before he goes underneath it. Doesn't skip any tack blocks here. Definitely slowing down a little bit towards the end of this line. We're going to see what he can do here. 31 seconds have already passed. 33 seconds. Barely slower than his first time. And now Oscar will line up on that starting line.
Nice, all guys.
I got you a lot of you're catching a lot of that.
And Oscar is already in the bar section, heading over to that over-under bar. Hitting both of those touch points on the tacking blocks under the first beam. And he is almost speeding up here. Make sure to get that last touch point. Very nice. 2 beams remaining between him and the finish line, and he crosses the finish line 41.4 seconds. Ashton Moeris from Team Aftershock lining up next. We saw his little brother, Adrickson, earlier. Here goes Ashton for his second run. Also completely skipping that beam, not touching it at all. Descending so quickly to those bars. Nearly falling off, but saving it and making it through that gate, saving himself from a penalty. 2 touch points here. Excellent tacking technique. And he has already passed those beams. 1 final beam section remaining. Under that last beam, and he crosses at 37 seconds. Slightly slower than his first time. But very impressive run. Nice job, Ashton. Jake and Larson are second to last athlete here. Insane Kong technique. So strong, so fast. Trying not to hit his head on the ceiling up there. This seems to be the hardest part for him here with those low bars, but he cruises through it this time. Skipping that third block again. Shaking his head, but he's still going very quickly. Still has a chance for a really good run here. Finish strong, 34 seconds. Nice job, dude.
Your speed run starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
And Kylie Royer is going to be our last athlete here over that beam. Our speaker got unplugged. We're trying to connect that again. Here she goes. She's already in that bar section. Over to that over-under bar. Using the wall to push her underneath there. Very nice. Already into those tacking blocks. Keep pushing. Staying strong. Hitting her last touch points here on the floor. And one final section. Just 3 beams remaining. 3, 2, 1. Pushing across the finish line. Very impressive finish. Excellent run from Kylie.
Everyone in group two. Everyone in group two.
That is all of our Group 1 athletes. We're going to switch our scoring sheet over to Group 2 here. These guys are going to get 10 minutes practice on the speed course. We talked with Coach Julius yesterday, and one of the things he said was that since this course is so compact and there's so much direction switching, there's a lot of attempting to get back up to speed after slowing down. You saw a couple of athletes like Kaz in that first group using the side of the vertical poles on these bars, using that back brown wall to push himself, speed him back up. Definitely different strategies to use when you're trying to accelerate. I'm here with Oliver from Flipshack. What did you think about the speed course?
It's perfect.
Perfect. You killed it.
It's long.
Out of 10?
10.
10 out of 10? It's long? It is really long. You did really good. We'll see what the final times are. Thank you, Oliver. His shoe came off at the end, he said, so he wasn't quite able to run right. But his first time was still very impressive. Surely hanging in those top times. Yes. I think we have our Group 2 roster up. We're going to start with Gideon Woolley from Team Altitude, followed by his teammate Colette Miller. Wyatt from Flipshack, followed by Jackson, Andon, Andrew, Gabe, Hiram, Stryker, and Roman. Athletes from Altitude, Flipshack, Kinetic, Ninja Core, Precision 509, Flow Vault, and Elemental 5. A lot of these times are definitely going to be really tight here. All right. It's a streaming tradition to get the official Coach Julius course rating.
Thank you.
All right, 1 to 10. What would you give the speed course? The new and improved U16 speed course.
I would give the new and improved speed course a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. Do you like the changes with the touch points?
I do. I think I like the availability for creativity with the ninja steps here, the quintuple steps. Cutting out those two middle ones as touch points allows athletes to try to figure out the best way through instead of forcing one single way. I like it.
All right, 7.5.
7.5.
The official.
What's the lowest?
The lowest we've gotten
Yeah.
from you?
No, from
I think the lowest we got today or here was a 7.
7. Oh man, I'm a hater then. I'm a certified hater.
Yeah, but I only asked like 2 people. Only one of them was you, so we still have to find some hitters.
We got the Carson cam.
Yeah. Alrighty, I'm here with the founder and owner of Flipshack Gymnastic Fitness. This is our first time hosting at this location. However, we've been hosting RMPC competitions at Flipshack for a while now. So I wanted to ask you, Wayne.
Yeah.
Well, can you introduce yourself first?
Wayne Larson, owner of Flipshack.
Wayne Larson. So what has your experience been with RMPC? What does RMPC mean to you and mean to Flipshack?
RMPC is amazing, and Matthew Hadley is just an incredible force of nature. So much energy and so much love and so much dedication to this sport. And RMPC is exactly what we have needed in this community is instead of just coming and training and, and playing and parkour, we're on both sides. Well, kind of 3 sides: gymnastics, parkour, and fitness through gymnastics and parkour. But in terms of the pure movement, extraordinary because it's so practical. And what RMPC is doing is elevating our game because now we have something at stake. And whenever you can compete in something, it raises the bar. It makes athletes focused and work toward an end goal. It makes coaches more focused and helping those athletes get toward that. So, we keep going. In a few years' time, this community is going to be unrecognizable in their talent. So thank you, Matthew.
Awesome. Thank you, Matthew. Thank you, Wayne. Like you were saying, this is actually first year having a parkour team that's competing. And what you were saying was it just helps so much with the motivation, the coaches, and with everything. You really have something you're training for, something that's at stake. And you can go to these competitions, you can train for these competitions. And the Flipshack team has been showing up, representing the home gym so well here today. Group 2 is just about to the end of their warm-up time. They're getting them in the correct order here. And we're going to get started. Short Gideon. Yes, Gideon Woolley. Thumbs up from the judges. We got to get that laser on. Thumbs up number 2 from the judges. And Gideon is ready on that starting line across the laser. Super huge pound vaults over that first balance beam. I'm getting the front row seat this time. I'm not behind the table anymore. Right on the screen door. Gideon already out of this bar section, heading into these tacking blocks. Doing that go step, not trying to risk skipping any of those blocks. Making sure you hit both of the touch points. Bit of a fall there. That's why we practice our dive rolls, Haven says. A really great recovery. This bumps from Gideon, a great save. Judges are going to put that time in there, and Colette Miller behind that starting line in the Woodward shirt. Onto this straightaway here. Kong over that single block on the floor. Over the bar first. That's that strategy I was just mentioning. How you use that wall to help you accelerate. Strides on those tag blocks. And one final push across these final 3 beams and across the finish line. Time of 36 seconds. And here comes White, also representing the home gym, Flipshack. And there he goes, just touching that beam with one hand up to that first point on the wall. Bit of a stumble on that floor, but that's what our second runs are for. Going over, not using the wall, but really shooting his feet out there, getting tons of momentum. Hitting both of those touch points on the tag blocks. Very impressive run from Wyatt. Landon Suva. I'm kidding. No, me and Mike were messing around. Oh my. And is flying, representing Team Altitude today. Leaning forward there, but saving it on both of those vaults. Getting his feet way up there. Really taking momentum very well. 1 touch point, 2 touch points, and he's already to the beams. Very nice. Roll through the finish line, making sure to hit. Excellent run from Andon, 34.06. 6 seconds. We have a few different types of zones taped away on this course. We have touch points. There's one on that far wall on top of the box. You have to touch it with any part of your body. You just touch it right there. We have gates. For the gates, you need to go in between the two tape markers. One is yellow, one is red. Leave 75 or 80% of your body has to pass through the gate. We also have the no touch zone. I believe there are only 2 on this course. One is on these tacking blocks in the front. You can't touch the ground there. You have to use tacking blocks. And the other is underneath the bars on that first side. You're not allowed to touch the ground in those 2 areas. Any penalties, however.
Like I didn't longer oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And here comes Hiram. Hiram Jones, Precision 509. Gabe Prescott coming with a time of 30.5 seconds. Very impressive. Gabe won speed competition last round 4 decision. Here comes Hiram. Slipping up, touching. Very, very quick recovery. Not losing his speed. Under that last beam, pushed into the finish line, 33. A lot of these times are very, very close to each other. He did get that one penalty, but he has some time to improve on his time and on his penalty there. Striker, Dishno, the second class athlete to go here on their first run, clearing that lead. Not the quickest pace to start, however, sometimes we've seen in the previous age groups that does give you an advantage at the end of your run. Already through the bars. Not touching either of those no touch zones, hitting all the touch points, all of the gates. No penalty so far.
Take it. Go.
And he finishes with 32.3 seconds. Very, very quick run from Striker. And our last athlete is going to be Roman Wagner. This is the final athlete to go on their first run. Roman is off. Also clearing that beam. Landing on that Norberts on the descent. We see some of those athletes skipping it. But it seems like when you use all of those boxes on that descent from the high boxes, it really does help you keep your speed up. Roman doing a great job here, coming to the end of his run. Pushing here at the very end, 33.4 seconds is his final time. Very nice, and we're going to restart our group 2 here. Let's get one more run. Gideon Woolley is up first. Here goes Gideon across the starting line. block over there. Very, very smooth pace. Oh, I don't even know what to call that. Already at those beams at 25 seconds on the clock. Keeping that pace up. One final push here towards the end. Over and under those beams, and he's going to finish with 37.9 seconds. Very nice. Just fractions of a second slower than his first run. And Colette Miller, also from altitude, is next. Here she goes, clearing that first beam, going through that gate. Keeping a very strong pace. Already into those bars. At just over 10 seconds. And she's already out straight to those tacking blocks. Very nice, Colette. 30 seconds on the clock as she hits that last touch point. One final push over these last two beams. She's going to finish with time of 38.046 seconds. A couple of seconds slower than her first run. I think we're going to see a lot of these athletes hanging on to their first time. They put so much effort and so much of their stamina into that first run. It's going to be very difficult to quickly turn around and improve on their time. But here comes Wyatt. He is across the lasers, also clearing that first gate. Up super quickly onto that box. He's had tons of time to practice, jumping up and down from that box. Using the same strategy last time on that low bar, not using the wall. Striding on those tacking blocks. And hitting his last touch point there. One more push here. The balance beam remaining. And he finishes with 37. About a second and a half quicker than his first time. And Andon Zuba is on the starting line. Thumbs up from the judges. And here he goes. Not slowing down at all there after that touch point. Using the wall there to get that acceleration back up. Already through those bars in about 18 seconds. Very nice. Two more touch points. One more touch point. Final push here. Going straight to that beam and finishing with a time of 34.2 seconds. Slightly slower than his first run, but very strong on both of his runs. And Andrew from Flovo is up on the starting line. Clearing that first gate. Using all of those blocks on the descent. Really smooth technique, really flowy line so far. Keeping his pace out very well. Way to the second part of this course. Sometimes it's tricky for these older athletes to get underneath the beam. And his final beam is going to cross the finish line at 35.7 seconds. Improving on his first time. Very impressive. And next up is Gabe. I believe he is in the lead right now. We're going to see. And his second run begins right now. Stepping over that first beam through the gate. Huge strides here. Doing a really great job managing those acceleration and deceleration points. Insanely fast on those tacking blocks. Getting to those beams right around 21 seconds. That's what we see our fast doing. And he skips the beam. 31.9 seconds, slightly slower. But an incredible run. Both of those two runs were very, very impressive. And here comes Hiram. Just sprinting here from the start. Definitely trying to make sure he doesn't get a penalty on the same spot. No penalties. Even if your time is faster on a run where you have a penalty, it will not be counted. He clears that. No touchdown this time. Coming around to this final push, still going very quickly. Under that beam and finishing 35.9 seconds. Just about 2 seconds slower than his first run, but unfortunately he did get that penalty, so it was 35-second run. It'll count. Striker Ishno on the starting line. Behind the starting line, trying to get the biggest run up he can get. Sprinting right out of the gate. All the way up, touching that. Huge calm. He is flying on this run. Kicking off that wall with his feet. Getting that acceleration back up. Already into the attacking block. Two of those beams are around 20 or 21 seconds. This is definitely going to be a very impressive time here. Under that beam, 31.7 seconds. About a half a second improvement. And our final runner is Roman Wagner representing Elemental 5. Across that starting line, clearing the beam, going through that gate. A lot of our athletes today don't even want to touch that beam. Very nice. Not using that vertical bar, vertical pull, or the one to speed up, but he stays quick. Go step there. And he reaches his final touch point. Last push here, just a 3 beams over and under that last beam, 32.8 seconds. Very nice. He ran faster than his first run. We saw a very big mixture of people improving on their second runs. And we're going to tally together that leaderboard, those top 3. Assemble our podium here, and we're going to get that podium ceremony to you guys shortly. This is the first year we've used these laser timers. They've been definitely very helpful getting accurate times. Beforehand, we just had to use stopwatches, but now we're getting precise times. We just have to make sure those athletes don't cross back over the laser once they're done. What an amazing 2 heats of speed athletes, 2 very big groups, tons of times super close to each other. We didn't see a really broad, we didn't see too much of a difference on those times. Usually in the speed run, we see a pretty big range from fast and slow times, but all of these athletes absolutely killed it today. I believe we don't have any ties. Just first, second, and third in both divisions. Unfortunately, our podium does face the crowd, but we're going to announce those final scores here on the live stream for all of you guys watching.
We're both ready, right?
There's three of these.
All right, that's for all our student competitors. We got our podium going.
That's not a picture, though. Yeah, Carson wants to. First off, we got our girls division. Third place is Kylie Royer. Precision 519, 44.77 seconds. Carson dropped the middles on the live stream.
Time of 46.0. From Connecticut.
In second place, we have Brielle Lockout representing Team Kinetic. Time of 46.284 seconds. There was a bit of a confusion with the times, but since Brielle has 0 penalties, she does get a higher score. And in first place, from Team Altitude is Colette Miller with a screaming time of 36.712. Round of applause for all of our girls division. And on to the boys podium. Only about 2 seconds separating our first and third finishers. Third place is Cass Cantana from Team Ninja Corps. Their final time is 32.721 seconds. Second place, Striker Dishwell from Precision 509 with a time of 31.730 seconds. And first place we have Gabe Prescott from Ninja Corps, 30.5 seconds. I believe it's the second speed win in a row. Excellent job from all of these athletes from both divisions. Round of applause for all of these athletes. Gabe with a huge Let's go. wanna hit the back flips or on here? All right. I don't want to do it by the trampoline. Thank you guys so much for watching the speed live stream. We're going to be back in just a few minutes with the U16 freestyles. We're going to hit a back flip right here. Let's go. Thank you to everyone who tuned in for this stream. Yeah, we're going to get that freestyle live stream up in just a couple of minutes.
Who was it, though?